Hey guys, Wraith calling. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today I'm in the Tier 5 light tank, the Chaffee, in a Tier 6 game. We're on Milanovka. And I really like the Chaffee, and it's a little OP for light tanks. And it's kind of a hidden secret. Not a lot of people know this, but the light Chaffee is one of the first tanks, tier-wise, to be able to load and mount vertical stabilizers. Vertical stabilizers actually remove your aiming circle, makes it smaller while you're on the move. Regardless of what you're doing on the move, whether you're traverse or driving, it keeps that aiming circle smaller. And the Chaffee is one of the first tanks that can do that. There are tier 6 and 7 tanks that can't mount vertical stabs. So this is a very key piece of equipment for this tank, and you can make a lot of good use with it. And on this mid ridgeline where I'm headed here, right at D7, there is this bush and this ridgeline. And from either spawn point, you can reach this spot and hold this spot as long as you're quick. And you got to get there early, otherwise you'll get spotted getting here. And you can see here, I'm spotting all these guys coming up out of the enemy spawn, and unless they're right along that 0 line, I'm going to spot most of these guys coming up here. And when they hit the D0, I'm still going to spot them reaching up there. And I'm getting a lot of spots right now. My team's not quite in position yet, and I don't want to start shooting, because once I pull the trigger, my camo value drops, and I will get spotted. And this ELC is getting close. And I'm debating, and I purposely aim for the tracks, trying to track him and hold him in place. I need to get ELC to die. He gets killed. Now, that ELC being that far forward means he's going to spot me every time I stick my nose up, and I don't want him to be there. He was a priority target for me. And at this point, because that first bush is just a little further along the ridge line, I have to crest this ridge to get to it. I'm going to have a hard time getting back to that bush. But it's important that I keep these guys spotted. And one of the key skills for light tank drivers to have for their crews is designated target. It actually increases the amount of time you have a tank spotted. It adds 2 seconds to the amount of time that tank is spotted. Like that Churchill, for example, if I back off, there's normally like a 2-second, 3-second time when that tank remains spotted. With designated target, it adds 2 more seconds. It becomes 4 or 5 seconds. It allows me to go up, get a quick spot, duck back down into cover, and they stay spotted longer. Gives my time, my artillery guys, the tank destroyers, and all these other guys that much more longer length of time to shoot these guys. And that's important for a light tank driver, and I think it's a really underrated skill for light tanks and some medium tanks. Probably more priority for light tanks. Medium tanks is one of those further down the road you can pick up, kind of depending on the kind of tank you have. And patience is key. When you're passive spotting, like I'm doing again, I'm sitting in this bush, I'm not spotted. And patience is key, because again, as soon as I pull the trigger, my camo value gets cut in half. And all these guys that are, that church is only 200 meters away. See, as soon as I pulled the trigger, 6 cents went off, I got spotted. See, I'm getting firing coming in from the side now. And there's guys, you see rounds skipping over the top of me. There's guys over there probably, I don't know, EF 456 kind of area shooting this way at me. So I'm kind of trying to be a little cautious here. Now I'm watching my team on the map. I kind of overstay my position here just a little bit. The team is advancing beyond me. And for light tank, you don't want to do that. So here shortly, you'll see I stopped getting assisted damage tickets piling up. Those spotted targets hits, I'll stop getting those here shortly because someone else starts spotting them for me. And I don't catch it right away. But see how far in the team is looking at the map, and when you look at my viewpoint when I back out, see those tank destroyers and the medium tank get pushed up far enough to where I'm not the one spotting these guys anymore. Now, I don't mind sitting back and farming a little damage if I can on my light tank. I've only got like 4 damage markers. But at this point, I probably overstayed my welcome. Now I'm still doing some good. I'm keeping eyes on this flank. What I like to do is I like to advance along this water's edge and keep everybody spotted in the enemy spawn. Usually you see that tank destroyer down there at H6. I spotted him right away. Look at those M4. One. So you see how small that circle stays with vertical stabs? It makes a huge difference. This is 20% of a difference. That's a huge difference. Especially if you're in a light tank and you're constantly moving. I was going to cross the waterway, and then we started getting capped, so I got to go back and defend the base because I am the fastest guy on my team. Part of my job is that rapid reaction force I've talked about before, and I'm not afraid to throw my light tanks into harm's way. The Chaffee always got four 440 hit points, so in a tier 6 game like this, it's not too bad. I can take 2 or 3 hits. When you get to tier 7 games, you can get one-shotted fairly easily if you're not careful. You lose all your hit points if one of the big Russian guns hits you. Now we're at 25 seconds. I'm trying to get some help. There's Matilda with me, but they're so slow. Artie's probably reassessing. There's the Panzer IV. It's a tier 16 destroyer. There's a VK301. He's also there. If you've noticed, I've noticed the APCR. This is why I do carry APCR for light tanks. I gotta try to get hits on these guys. And I gotta reset the cap. I missed that one. Matilda actually is the one who resets the cap. If it wasn't for the little Matilda being the hero, we would have lost this game because I missed all my shots on both of these guys. And I switched my fire back to the Egg Panzer because he's the one that's going to be an issue for me. You know, my team can't see him from where he's at. And unfortunately, now that he doesn't have help, he's done. There's no way he can outturn me even on his best day. So I go back, but don't need to. The team has cleared up the last guy. That was a good game. I'll take it. Team did well. So overall, I'll take it. 4,800 XP with the ×2 bonus, 1,100 damage, 2,100 assist. I had some 31 spotted targets assisted damage. Ace tanker. I got the scout medal, 1,500 base XP, 1,100 damage, 2 kills. I'll take it. It's a very good game, and anybody who has a game like this should be proud of their light tank skills. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned a little something about scouting again. I like doing these light tank videos. As always, like, sub, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. As always, keep your powder dry.